that, as I was saying, I found out early in the morning, well, when it had just recently happened. My husband was told, and this is before it was hitting the news and all that, like a few minutes before, my husband called me to tell me that Charlie had been shot. And I guess he wasn't sure if it was in the face, in the chest, or in the neck. At that time, I immediately jumped into YouTube, try to get the news. There was nothing there, so I thought for a split second um, that that it wasn't true. I really, really thought for a split second that it wasn't true, um, and I was really hoping that part of me was really hoping that it wasn't true, that it was a lie, and that that he was just, I guess, severely hurt, but that he wasn't. I was hoping that it was just that he was hurt a little bit, because when they did say that it did hit the neck or somewhere part of the body, I was extremely concerned. Then I saw he was in critical condition because the news started coming in immediately. I'm jumping in and letting everybody know the update of how he was doing. I hope you guys can hear me just fine. So sorry, it's just so hard to still know about the situation and know what's been going on, what was going on with him. And then there's videos that started circulating about his death, and it was just horrific. Um, and then the video that my husband showed me, it was just, I don't know if anyone has seen it. I wish I would have not seen it, to be honest with you. I wish that, it just the graphic image of that you see it, him just putting his shoulders up and then it hitting his vein and the blood that comes out straight forward. Um, it's just, immediately that there is no way, that it's only by the miracle of God that he can walk away from this. Um, and all of our suspicions was right. He did not make it. And it was extremely, extremely sad. To be honest, I cried. I got on my knees. I know for some people it might sound silly. I didn't know the guy, but I know what he stood by. He gave us a voice to a lot of us that have been, attacked for believing in God or believing in marriage within a woman and a man, and fighting evil. And he went by one quote, and I loved it, and I don't remember the quote that he would go by, but it's somewhere, I believe in John or something like that, where it says, that Christians must fight evil. And that's what he was doing. It saddens me for many reasons. It saddens me for his kids. It saddens me for his wife. It saddens me for, his parents, his loved ones, his family. Um, but the most horrible thing that is going to happen is that this video of him dying, the way he died, is going to probably be in the internet for the rest of our lives. And his kids are going to be seeing this. Mind you, I believe they're less than 3 or less than 4 years old, but they're going to grow up and believing everything his dad believed in, because his mom is going to make sure that, they know about him. And eventually she has to prepare them to watch this video of Charlie. Um, and it's just really sad, that his kids are going to be seeing how his dad died. Uh, I'm very much grateful for his kids. I'm praying for his family. This is horrible. Some people, ultimately Charlie did an amazing job while he was here in the world. And yes, it was evil that took him. I seen people on Instagram and YouTube stating, "Where was God? Where was God?" God gave us an amazing person. God gave us a man that fought for believing in God. God gave us someone that while he was here in the earth, uh, fought really hard for everything that we stand by. It's not too much. Oh, the conservative, like I'm seeing in the news, conservative Charlie Kirk, conservative this, conservative that. He was he was a man of God. He was a father. He was a husband. He was a son. So I'm seeing a lot of the news just labeling him as that he was just that a conservative. There was more to him than just being a conservative. And I wish that that could be, you know, talked about more, or when they talk about him, Charlie Kirk, a father, a husband, and then later on, yeah, if you want to say conservative, go ahead. But I think he was more than just being a conservative. And it's really, really sad. What also makes me really sad is the fact that a lot of TikToks and Instagram, you see a lot of people making comments that they're so happy that he died. There's videos of people, kids in campus saying somebody had to do it. That baffles me. That the fact that we think that way, not all of us, the fact that people think that way, that they're so happy that he passed, it really saddens me, because if you think that way, then Jesus, I pray for you, because your evilness in your heart has to be so bad, so consumed by anger, that you think it's okay to think that it's okay when someone dies in the way that they died. I don't care if you're conservative, I don't care if you're liberal, I don't care anything. At that point, the moment he left this world, your compassion as a human being should be awakened. You should see how much hate there's in the world, especially right now with Christians, that we're being killed. And if the evil things that by any means, sorry, if the evil things by any means that this is going to stop people from talking about God, then they're hella wrong, because that's not going to stop. This actually, to me, and the reason I named it What's Next for Charlie, it's because people are going to wake up with his cause, what he believed, and they're going to stand up to what he believed a lot more stronger. So if the evil by any means thought that this is going to shut people down and people are not going to want to say anything, they are hella wrong. People are going to be upset. People are going to know about him for years to come. And people are going to notice of how much people are being hurt because of the situation of what happened, of who was killed, and they're going to want to come a lot more stronger. So I cannot wait to see that. I'm actually one of those people, it's myself, that I've been doing YouTube, and I stopped for a little bit because, like I said, my concentration always been about my health and my family, and I was not feeling good for a few days last week. But the moment this happened, I realized how important it was to get back again and talk about the Word of God. My family is important to me, and it's something that he stood by. Those beliefs, those traditions, going back to the church, believing in God, reading the Bible. He always talked about when people would tell him, well, how do you stay so strong? And he would always say, I have the armor of God with me. And he had it. He definitely had it. It doesn't mean that God's armor was taken away the moment that happened, or that God wasn't protecting him. God was protecting him, but the evil took someone away from us, something away from us that is going to hurt for a very long time. Um, but I know his purpose was always for us to get closer to God, and that is what I am going to be doing even more, because he died. He died for that cause. And I think that every single one of us should make the effort, and anyone that loved him, anyone that loved Charlie, anyone that knew Charlie, anyone that believed in Charlie and what he believed and what he fought for, we all have to stand up, and we all have that duty of continuing his work. We all have that duty on keeping fighting for him, because he's no longer here. But he was fighting here on behalf of God. And God is always here, and God is always going to be here, and we have to continue that. Um, I think I'm having bad reception again. Sorry, guys. I'll come back.